Hello, my name is Brad. Welcome to my budgeting channel. I work in the service sector and I use simple tools such as a calendar, paper, pen, and envelopes to prepare spending plans based on my paychecks, which are paid every 2 weeks. I use digital envelopes, but the same thing that I'm doing can easily be done using physical envelopes. I also use simple Excel sheets in my videos because it's easier to film. However, I do not use formulas, which makes it easier to replicate what you see using just a pen and a piece of paper. This channel's theme is Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." In today's video, we will look at the bills that I had for the second paycheck in March and just do an update on the bills that have been paid so far and take a look at next pay period's bills and get a good start on those. And also, we're going to look at the automatic allocations feature in my digital envelope system called Qube Money. You can set up in any way that you want to automatically allocate or automatically stuff those digital envelopes. So we'll see how that works. Enjoy.
All right, first thing I want to take a look at is my bills and see if there's any bill that has been paid in my Qube app. So I'm looking first for the dates to line up with the bills that I had planned to pay during this pay period. I believe I'm going to see one of my Paramount or one of my Amazon bills, which is the one for Paramount Plus. And I'll take note of what the date is and just check to see if the dollar amount is the same dollar amount that I had in my payment plan column. If it is, I just put an X in the date. And I'm just going to keep doing this for any of the other bills that have been paid. And just so I can update my sheet here. And of course, I'm doing this in Excel, but I could just as easily do this on a piece of paper. It's just easier for me to film here using Excel. So we've got so far Discover. Then we have the other Amazon, which is Friendly TV, another subscription that I have. And then what do we have left here for the month? It looks like we got the 23rd and the 24th. The next one will be Avera. And that was the same dollar amount as well. So far, they've all been the same dollar amount as what I had planned for them to be. The next one, I believe, will have Straight Talk. And in the Straight Talk one, the dollar amount was a little different. So I'm going to just put in what the actual payment amount was and then stick the data in on that one. And then Best Life should be the next one on the list. And that dollar amount appears to be the same as what I had planned. So I'll put in the date on that one too. Now I'll have to pick that up after the first of the month to do the rent and Patreon and Commerce Bank. That's at the top of the list. So now I can go and take my beginning balance and then I'll add the fund that I added to the envelope. And then I'll take out the amount that was paid. And that should give me an ending balance. So on the right side, I've got my calculator here. And we'll start with Discover. So the beginning balance was $78.51, And then I funded another $78.51. That's the total there. And then I took that minus the $120 that was paid, and that becomes the ending balance. So I'll just keep doing this throughout the rest of the bills that I know that have been paid so far. All right, now I have ending balances for all of the bills that have been paid up through the end of the month of March. All right, so moving on to the beginning of April, we've got rent and Patreon, and those are both on the first of the month. So those are balances that I can move on over. So we'll do that. And then the third bill, it says that it's due on the 3rd of the month, but I looked a little bit closer and it's not really going to come out until after I get my next paycheck. So there won't be anything paid off of this paycheck for that third line. But for the first line, which was rent, I've got an ending balance of $10. That's after I paid the rent. And then the second line, which is Patreon, I've got an ending balance of $18. Third balance, I'll just take the beginning balance plus the funded plan, but I'm not going to take the payment out yet because that payment will happen on the next paycheck. So that's $57 that I have in there. Now, the next pay period, the bills that I have to pay are the highlighted ones here. And I brought over all of those beginning balances from the worksheet, which again, you can use this on just paper, lined paper and a pen. Would do the same thing. And I did take note from the amounts that I had written on my calendar for what the payments were that are due for Commerce Bank, Microsoft, and so on from the 3rd down through the 16th, which is the pay period for my next paycheck. And then I brought over the ending balance for all of the other ones that aren't going to be paid on the next pay period, just to get a head start, because I know how much I'm going to fund into each one of those envelopes. So that work is done for the next pay period, which makes things a lot easier. Now, I found in Qube that there is an area for you to be able to work through your budget, and it's the planning area. And in that area, you can auto-allocate money to come out and to be put into cubes or envelopes automatically on specific dates. And that is a feature that I really want to use because I know that all the bills, the short-term monthly bills plus the longer-term bills that are in my sinking funds, they all come out to $730 per paycheck. So what I can go in and I can choose my budget period, and I can put it in as a custom budget period. And so I get paid every Thursday, not every Thursday, but every 2 weeks on a Thursday. And so I set that up. And so the next paycheck is April 3rd. So starting on that paycheck, I have it set up in Qube to be a budget based on a 2-week budget and not a monthly. So in that column that says monthly budget, I'm actually just putting in the dollar amounts for the 2 weeks. And then in the column that has just the little icons in it, those icons tell me whether I want to automatically allocate 100% of my budgeted column, or if I want to just fill it to that dollar amount. So if I have, like for care credit, I've got $90 in there. If I already had $80 in there, if I did fill to budget, it would only add $10. But if I do 100%, it'll add $90, no matter what the current balance is. The only one in this list that I don't have set up is the tithes and offering, because that's going to change. And so I did not put that in as an automatic allocation. That's one that I'm going to do physically. So over here on the left, you can see the next run for my automatic allocations is going to be April 3rd. I have a bunch of my categories that are turned off, and then I have 22 categories where it's going to automatically allocate 100% of my budgeted amount. So that's 22 envelopes that I do not have to go into and physically stuff the envelope. I'm keeping track of it on my worksheet, but I don't have to physically go one envelope at a time anymore. Those 22 envelopes will be done automatically. Now, Qube says that you should have the amount in your unallocated funds set aside prior to the day that the first allocation happens. So since I know my automatic allocations are $730, I put money into the unallocated funds. So I did take money out of some of the savings, and I moved it over. Since I had the money, I moved it over to unallocated funds, and I'm keeping track of it because I do want to reimburse myself for those savings areas. But I do know now that I always have that 730 available ahead of time. It's always going to be there before the paycheck comes. And that way, once payday comes, even if the money hasn't landed in my Qube account yet, if it's still sitting over in my brick and mortar account, it's okay, because the money that I need for my bills is in the right place, and it will allocate it to the right areas.
If you've made it this far through the video, thank you so much for watching. If this is the type of content that you like and appreciate seeing online, please give a like and comment below. If you'd like to see further videos of this type, consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification button so you won't miss further videos. Thanks for watching, and God bless. Goodbye.